Lisa from Hello Happy, and I am here in my completely gorgeous, beautiful kitchen that is absolutely not a green screen. I don't know who told you that. Today we are going to be making some pan protectors. Not the most exciting or glamorous project in the world, but very useful and completely self-indulgent because I actually need them for reasons beyond my comprehension. I've just been using paper towels at the bottom of pans for like a decade. I don't know why. When I had the ability to just make these like really cheaply this entire time. And if you are in the same silly predicament as me, well, now you too can remedy this. Feel slightly more like a grown-up? This is the first video in a series that I am making in order to teach people how to read crochet patterns. So if that is you, if you learned how to crochet during the pandemic solely on YouTube and you have not yet moved beyond video patterns, here, I'm here. This is what you need. Each video is going to come with a pattern on my blog that you need to open up and follow along with during the video, and you're gonna learn how to read patterns, and eventually you'll be able to conquer the world and use any pattern ever that's been available for all of time because you can read them. In these lessons I will attempt to teach you how to read patterns but I will not be teaching you how to crochet. You have to already know how to do that. I might do something a little more advanced later on in the series, but the first few are definitely just going to be really easy beginner patterns. I think that's the best way to get started. Okay, so supplies, very simple as you can see. You need a worsted weight yarn. I do recommend cotton just because it's a bit tougher. I am using Dishie Twist from We Crochet / Knit Picks. Full disclosure, they did send me this for free. Actually, they sent me a whole bunch of Dishie 2 years ago, and I used a lot of it to make patterns with, but I still have quite a bit left over because they sent me so much. So they're not paying me for this, but I did get this yarn for free from them. You need a 5mm hook, yarn needle, scissors. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so I know you are looking at the written pattern at the moment, so go ahead and follow along. What does it say? It says make a magic ring, or whatever method you prefer to start in the round projects with, and then chain 2. So 1 and 2. Now you're going to do 10. What are you doing? 10 double crochet into your ring or whatever the heck you decided to start with. So go ahead and do 10. And I know you know this because you are looking at the pattern right now. And you're already ready to go on to the next round because you are looking at the pattern and you already know what it says. Please read the pattern. That's the whole point of this. You're going to learn how to read the pattern. Read the pattern. Now, you want to have 10 double crochet. As it says in the pattern, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, which means you are not going to crochet into it. That is just how you start the row. So pull your tail tight and then slip stitch into your first double crochet stitch of the round. Pull that tight. And to start the next one, it's going to be the same way you start every row, which it says in the pattern. So you're going to chain 2. And it says increase around, which means you're going to do an increase into each stitch, which means you are going to end up with 20 double crochet stitches at the end of your round. So go ahead and make 20, and I will see you back in a second. And by the power of movie magic, we have finished round 2, whatever. So finish it the same way, single crochet into the first double crochet stitch of the round, pull that tight, and then we're going to start the next one the same way with a chain 2. And this one says repeat round 2, so that means you're going to do the same thing. You're going to increase around 2 stitches into each stitch, and you will end up with 40. So go ahead and repeat what you just did. Alright, round 3 is complete. So, looking at the pattern, it says double crochet increase. So you're gonna do 1, 2 stitches, 1, 2 stitches all the way around, and you're gonna end up with 60. You're gonna start and end it the exact same way we've been doing. And I will meet you back here when I am finished going. So as it says in the pattern, each row or each round, I just say row automatically, my bad, but each round is going to now just start increasing by 10 each time. So since this is 60, look at the pattern. It says, what does it say? I feel like I want to be like Dora the Explorer. Can you say, good job? Okay, so it says double crochet into 5 stitches and then increase. So you're going to do an increase on every 6th stitch, which is going to bring the count up to 70 because that's how math works. But you knew that because you looked at the pattern and it said so, right? All right, so go ahead and do this round and we'll see ya. All right, so I am at 70. So from this point onwards, the more rounds you do, or the amount of rounds that you do, is going to be based off your pan measurements. So most people don't have pans quite this small, but you can stop after any row once you reach the length, the width, whatever. The diameter, is that the right word? The diameter that you require, and then move on to the border row. This one for me is going to be for a 9-inch pan, so I'm just going to keep going until I get to 9, or just slightly under 9, not massively under 9. If it's like 8.5, I'll probably do another round after that. But yeah, just keep going until you get there. And we're going to take it back a little more. Here we go. All right, I have finished the rounds for my 9-inch pan protector. The number of rounds you do is going to depend on your tension. It says that in the pattern, of course, obviously. So whenever you're finished, join me back and we will do the border. All right, and we've zoomed in for this. So if you look at the pattern, it says you're going to chain 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you're going to slip stitch into the 5th chain from your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's 2 up from the bottoms. If you want to just count up to 3, that's easier too. So go ahead and slip stitch right into that. And then chain 2. And then you're going to skip 2 stitches and slip stitch into the 3rd stitch from your last slip stitch along the circle anyway, because technically that was your last slip stitch. So yeah, it's a little confusing, but you can figure it out with context. All right, so we go skip, skip, and you slip stitch into there, and then you just repeat that all the way around, and I will meet you back when we get around this area. Okay, so mine is finished. So now I'm going to show you how to finish it off. You can read what it says in the pattern, of course, but sometimes it's easier to show these things anyway. So you can see there is, so here's the first slip stitch, and here's the last slip stitch, and there's 1 stitch left. Now, whether you've got 1 or 2 or 3 left, you want to slip stitch to wherever the middle is between your last stitch and your first stitch, which in this case is just this 1 stitch. And then here is where you're going to make your hanging loop. So just chain 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then slip stitch right in there. And that's where you can use to hang it on a nail or whatever when the pot it's for is in use. And then this way, it doesn't matter where it ends, either way, you're gonna have a loop. If you've got 2 stitches in the middle, slip stitch to 1, do 6, and then slip stitch into the other stitch. Like either way, you can make this work. And then you can cut it off. And then you can weave in all your ends. But if you are crazy a little bit, you can go on each loop and stretch them out so that they are properly circle shaped. And by if you are crazy, I mean I'm gonna do it because it doesn't take very long. So go and stretch them all out. Even though when they're sitting in the pan, they're just gonna go wonky again. So what's the point? I don't know. It just feels good to do it. So do it if you want to. I'll do it all on camera. It's gonna take less than a minute. Just give them a good stretch. Give them all a good stretch. Plus, you know what? If you want to take pictures of these for social media, do it. Like you gotta commit. And obviously, everything is content. Everything is content. Don't forget to film it. Don't forget to film it. Tell me you know that song now, right? There. That didn't take that much effort. And now they're all stretched out, looking beautiful. And yeah, weave in your ends, and you're done. Nope. And that'll about do it. So hopefully you've made yourself a whole bunch, or even just one if you only need one, of pan protectors. One little valuable piece of information I have for you as you finish here. I have it on my blog, but I'll just say it here. Install some sort of a hook or a nail on the inside of your cupboard door so that when you grab a pan, you take the protector, you put it on that hook or that nail, and then after you use the pan, you've washed and dried it, you're ready to put it back in the cupboard, you just grab the protector, put it back on the pan. None of this flinging it to the back of the cupboard and then digging for it later. No, you're gonna put it on the inside of the door and pretend you're a functioning adult. Boom. If you make a whole set of lovely pan protectors, please do tag me on social media and tell people you learned how to read patterns from me, because then more people can learn how to read patterns from me. Okay, all right, that's all I got. Bye.